Hello and welcome. This is Henry Kramer, 605 Chaser. We're going to get to all the fun little weather things that we got going on. First, I want to thank our wonderful sponsors, Fit Revolution, Refuel Nutrition, as well as Mission Nutrition. They're all located in Sioux Falls. You got the hours right there below me, as well as Prairie Pro General Contractors. You can request a quote at prairieprosd.com. A little bit about me. I was 252 pounds, went down to 165 pounds, been able to maintain with the help of the great coaches from Fit Revolution, Refuel Nutrition, and Mission Nutrition. Check them out today. This is going to be a monstrosity of a hurricane. This is possibility of a Cat 5. We can't even stress the significance that this could impact. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek. As you can see, the current track. Now this is a HWRF model. If you take a look at this, if we take a look at hurricane expected to be labeled a hurricane by tomorrow morning, early morning, 1 a.m. And then we could be seeing Hurricane Milton with speeds of up to 125 miles going east-northeast by 1 a.m. on the 8th. So just a couple days away. And let's go ahead and put in a loop here so that you can kind of see. And then once you can see that well-defined eye right in there. And as it gets to that, then 1 a.m. or 1 p.m., the afternoon of the 8th, this is going to pack significant gusts of wind. Now, yes, I understand that it's not impacting to the U.S. There's Cancun that's going to get those tropical winds. But the big concern is Tampa as we move in. Let's go ahead and push that a little bit further through here. As you can see, Tampa, if we zoom in here, this is one of the latest models. It's expecting Tampa to have a direct impact. Tampa, St. Petersburg, there's the eye of that wall. Even as far inland, take a look at this. Spring Hill, I-75, all of those, Clearwater, is going to be significant impacts. Now, I don't want to alarm you, but I do want to point out another part here. Before I go on Radar Omega, I want to show you some information here with the GFS. Now, stay with me here because this is showing the MSLP of that storm right there as it impacts Florida. Now, as we go through to October 15th, watch what we have creeping up to Florida. You can see it in the lower portion. Whoops. Lower portion right here. Another tropical system that could impact areas of Florida in the later part of the following week. So about 10 days out from now, we have a possibility of a Cat 2. And those would be areas in the southern part of Florida. So we're not done with this, folks. This is based off of the GFS model. And then finally things get rolling. But as you can see, a low pressure system develops here as well. And then even along the whole east coast line on the 19th, we have significant storms. We could have tropical storms that go tropical storm warnings that could go all along the eastern coastline as that second wave. Now, I don't want to alarm you too much, but I do want to make sure that you're aware that these are possibilities based off of the GFS model. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek a little bit further. Let's take a look and describe what's happening with regards to South Dakota. As you can see, dominating high pressure, continuing. Really not much moisture until you get into the 16th. We start seeing some of that moisture. You even see a little bit of snow over in Wyoming, parts of Wyoming, Colorado, but really more significant rain around the 17th. This is based off of the GFS model, and then it really ramps up down in areas that definitely don't need it, like Tennessee and Georgia and Alabama, all along this line on the 18th. But then that dominating high pressure and warm air comes back to South Dakota and Nebraska areas as that weekend approaches the 18th. Couple of waves, and that's about it. Let's go ahead and get a little bit more, dive a little bit more deep into the hurricane potential, and with regards to Milton here. Tropical storm force wind probabilities over the next 120 hours. As you can see, we have significant right in the Gulf and even up to Tampa Bay areas. Then we do also have moderate, at least 40% for that area, that swath in the red. That's the most excessive rainfall outlooks. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek again at the track. This is what we're expecting to have happen based on 7 a.m. update from the tropical, the National Hurricane Center. Hurricane is expected about 1 a.m. It'll be labeled a hurricane, expected around 1 a.m. tomorrow morning. And a major hurricane by the time it hits 1 p.m. Tuesday. And then once we go into Wednesday, that's when we start worrying about those tropical storm winds, or tropical force winds hitting those areas. Let's go ahead and take a look at a little bit more of a timeline. Earliest reasonable arrival of tropical storm force winds, we go into Tuesday even. As early as Tuesday, significant possibility of those tropical storm winds. And we're going to have this on the backside, so on the east side of Florida as well is going to feel that on Wednesday. That is the latest information that we have there. Let's go ahead and take a quick peek at the pressure measurements of this based off of that model. As you can see, we get spinning through there, 959 or 950 millibars. You can see that eye wall very well defined. The lower the pressure, the stronger the hurricane. Once we get into anything that's below 940 millibars, I believe it is, 944, 940, somewhere there, we start talking about a hurricane that's category 4. We even have 935, 934, look at that, 928 millibars. And as it approaches, making impact, 947 millibars. So 947, that is definitely a strong Cat 3. Let's go ahead and bring up some of the strengths, the tracks based on different weather models. It's all showing that all of these different lines here represent particular weather model and where it's expecting it to go. So you have some of it saying just a little farther north, some of it saying a little bit farther south, but they're all kind of bunched in together. So that's a pretty significant news story there, or weather story there, because of the fact that they're all starting to come together and pretty much in agreement. Let's go ahead and take a look at the confidence levels that we have for what category this could be. As you notice, there's a couple of weather models that are even saying a possibility of a Cat 5. That is significant. And this would be a possibility over the next 36 to 48 hours. So we do have a possibility of a Cat 5. That would catastrophically, that would be catastrophic for that area, for any area. But let's pray and hope that we do not have a Cat 4. Let's pray and hope we don't have a hurricane at all. But unfortunately, folks, time is of the essence. Let's go ahead and get prepared now, because we do know with 100% certainty it's going to be a hurricane that's impactful. Whether it's a Cat 1, Cat 2, Cat 3, 4, or 5, it's going to impact. There's significant amounts of rainfall that's expected. Let's take a look at that real quick. As we're seeing here, the 12 to 16 inches off of the coastline there. And that, obviously, as we get a little bit closer, this could end up significantly increasing. If we get a Cat 5, the storm surge is going... You all remember what Hurricane Helene had for significant, and that was a Cat 4. Let's be mindful and make sure that we're staying aware of that. Again, let's go ahead and take a look at the arrival of those winds. The most likely we could be seeing those winds, tropical storm force winds, as early as 8 a.m. on Wednesday on the western coastline of Florida. Sorry we didn't get to too much of the weather with regards to South Dakota, but main thing there is continued dry until we get into around the 15th, 16th. It gets a little bit dicey, but that's 10 days out. So really dry and some roller coaster temperatures. We get in the upper 60s for highs some days, and then we will get even close to 90. I'll touch base real quick with regards to South Dakota weather. Let's bring that up here. Waiting for that to update. As we get into the 16th here, we'll put that on one moment here. Alright, so there's a graph that shows the temperatures. Much cooler air out in Wyoming area. Let's make sure that this is accurate. My graph. Yep, that is pretty darn accurate there. So as you can see, 60s on the 16th, and then as we progress a little bit further here, there comes that super cold air in the evening. 50s, not too bad. But there's even colder. Look at that, 25 degrees for areas of Rapid City, the hills. In Sioux Falls, we got 40s. We've had some of those a little bit as of late. Keep in mind, this is way out. This is 12 days out. So this could obviously change a bit, but we're certainly getting close to the time frame that we're going to start seeing much cooler temperatures. As you can see, it really sticks around. So our highs probably towards the latter part of October are going to start seeing highs in the 50s and 60s throughout. Look at that, folks. That's definitely some significantly cooler temperatures. Of course, that is up in the parks, so you definitely are going to feel that over there. All right, that's the latest information that we have from the 605 Chaser Studios. Stay safe, everybody. God bless.